This video was sent to me by an anonymous user who said, "Can you roast Koča Popović while making the video? You will have plenty of material." Hello and welcome to this absolutely bizarre 2v2 game played on Mount River Duel, a map which is considered by many to be too small for 1v1. And we've got two teams, NATO versus PACT, Mix 90 on 2nd UK, Koča Popović on 5th Panzerdivision, Artanis on 27Y, and Dristl kakals on 6YA. The map, you don't see this very often at all. It's a very small map. And it looks like they're playing on half income. I say that because there's really not a lot here for these teams. So I feel like they're playing on half income. Having said that, maybe not. Because there's definitely a lot of things here. But yeah, unless these guys are about to make a lot of planes appear, which they might be, I think they're playing on half income. So yeah, looking at the deployments, Mix 90, 2nd UK, quite powerful on this map because you can get the SAS in there straight away. It's interesting, right? So this map, basically, when it was first made like this, it had more trees here, but then they deforested the whole map, and so this version of it has changed as well, which means that this central point is really not fun to hold because it's so open now, whereas before it was completely enshrouded in forest, basically. But now it's very open, and so now your position here and your position here basically make it so nobody's coming through. It's a case to be made for amphibious. You can amphib your way across this. So he's opening double SAS, and keep in mind 27Y, 6YA, they don't get forward deployed, airborne forward deployed anything. So blue's going to get there first, and that gives them a clear advantage, especially on a map this wide. But red gets grads, and they brought a fob, so if they can just grad the whole map, that gives them an advantage, so something to watch out for. So 2 SAS and a sniper, air mobile scouts behind that, and then 2 challengers, which is interesting, given how bad they are. And then we go to Koča Popović. The person who sent me this replay told me to flame Koča Popović all game. So we will be flaming Koča Popović all game. So it looks like Mix has actually given him an SAS here. So the SAS is going here, and then the Saxon's been sent over here. Interesting spot for it. And then a Fernspeer is unloading here, and then the Iltis truck is being sent forwards. So I assume he assumed that the shift queue order would make it so that the infantry goes forwards. But I'm pretty sure this makes it so the truck goes forwards. We'll find out. And then a Lux here. And 3 Leopard 2A3s, one of which is a command, and a Gepard. So 1 Gepard between them. It's going to be rough. It's going to be rough against the planes. Switching to their opponent's deployment. We see Artanis, motorized Rozvedka, and an Igler on the left. They're really just not concerned with. Keep in mind, because there's no zones here like there are in the other 1v1 version. Motorized Rozvedka there. Just a small screening force, Conkers M, Pulmachiki, Iglers, RKHM. Motorized Rozvedka over here. And then behind that, they really want Charlie. And to be honest, the 3 times I've played this map, which were all in tournaments, it's all about Charlie. It's all about Charlie. So lots of Motostrelki, BMP1, BMP2, lots of it. Pulmachikis, 3 Conkers and a vehicle Conkers. No tanks. It's interesting. And Tunguska. So we'll see how the the challengers basically will just be target saturated by this. All these bundles of sticks on these BMP1s are going to mess them up. So we'll cast the game, and we'll do it from this perspective. Right, so they're off, and it's time for me to thank the generous channel joiners, generously bankrolling the channel. They get the names on the screen, they get the videos early, they get members exclusive videos. Big thanks to them. If you don't want to pay, that's fair enough. Please just like the videos, please comment on the videos. It makes YouTube, I was going to say Eugen then, recommend the videos to more people. So if you want the channel to grow, please like the videos. It takes you 10 seconds to like and leave a comment and subscribe and all that. If you can't think of anything to say, just write GG. And yeah, so blue, they're in the zones. They get the SAS, they've got the SAS to here, which makes it very difficult to get rid of them. I'm pretty sure they're on half income. They gotta be, right? Because where's all the stuff, right? So that's like 500 points right there. And then this will take him up to 750, basically. Hang on. Oh, they might be on 75% income. Because half of 1500 is 750. And this is 500, 600, 700, 800. You know. So yeah, it'll be 3/4 income, I think. Who knows if they're playing with command and control? It would be great if the game gave me this information, but sadly it doesn't. First playing of the game out. Oh man, if this can hit, that's going to be huge. Especially with the income. That is really, really bad from Mix90. I know, of course, we're supposed to be flaming Koča Popović here, but Koča Popović didn't just lose, half his income in a few seconds there. Koča Popović, of course, the only Blue 4 player smart enough to open AA. A really, really good kill from the 6YA player. Really embarrassing for Mix90 there. And now his teammates got to do all the heavy lifting because he's the one with all the stuff. So he does have to retreat with his tanks. There's a lot of conkers here. Waiting to see when the artillery starts coming out. But both teams buying units. Like, look at this. Look at this massive amount of forces. The SAS are doing good work killing. Like, they've killed 4 BMP. The BMP 1G is terrible, by the way. Don't bring it. Bring the regular one instead. It's the same price and it's way better because it has smoke. Whereas this does not have smoke. And because the smoke goes here, where the grenade launcher is. So yeah, it's very rubbish, and you shouldn't bring it. And the AGS-17 is also really bad. It's just really, really bad. So Koča's brought the Lars 2, which is the one to bring here. He's suppressing those red targets. So smart play from Koča. What I'd love to see from Red is a smoke mortar, because if you just smoke this, then you can get the CV in. And then you'll be on a tick. Right now, both teams are on 24. Talk about balanced. So Koča doing a really good job here, whereas Mix is just like feeding the whole game, basically. I mean, he lost all his tanks. Like, Koka's helping him out a lot. And then he bought FI toes, which you don't really want to be buying, because it's like 200 points, right? So that's 1 minute's income if you're on 0.75 income. Just over a minute's income. I believe it's 195, right? Whereas this is 200. And he really needed more infantry. So the infantry's coming, but Red's almost taken the zone. Conquers M doing a good job screening there. Dristl needs to move this one up. Hopefully it does. Gets that guy up. The main problem they've got is because all the trees are gone, they need smoke. So they've bought AA. This front's quite static, but this is where the point is. Mix losing his SAS there, you really don't want to be losing that. Although, yeah, this guy is right-clicked on him, so we'll see if he kills him. Any second now. It's like he didn't, and now he's going to die to air mobile scouts. So that's pretty embarrassing. So great play from Mix there, right-clicking on the corner of the map. Although he's really got nowhere to run. This has 4 MG, so it's really messing this guy up. And this last man is firing both the AK and the RPK. And the rocket launcher if needs be. But he will eventually go down there. So it's a shame that Red couldn't really capitalize on this. They just, like, all they had to do was smoke here and then just get this CV in. And they've got 2 RT pieces, so you would think that would be possible. So yeah, he's going for the SAS. Mix not retreating it. I'm still reeling from that cluster bomber thing. Even in 1 times income, that is horrible if that happens. You lose over 500 points. But actually, it might be exactly 500. Okay, will this hit? No. Okay, so now he's going this way. He's dodging it manually. He's eyeballing it. And because of the way artillery works, it either does full damage or literally nothing. So he survives there, because it missed him very slightly. Napalm thingy coming out. Can't see this working out. There's 2 SAS there. Down it goes. Imagine if this guy had died, then here we go. That's pretty funny, but Mix does see it. The payload did drop, but to what end? And Mix did manage to get a CV in there. But that was mainly thanks to the work of Koča Popović with his Lars, doing most of the work there. You know, helping stabilize the front and so on. Makes a real liability in this game. Like, I'm really not sure what's going on. So this thing you never see anybody bring ever. So let's see how good it is. The main problem is because it's got low caliber, it has low splash, and you saw that with the Gvozdika as well. Basically, you need the splash is just off the caliber, so you need a very, very high, pretty cool amphibious attack there. You need as high a caliber as possible to increase the splash as much as possible. It did kill that Conquer's team though. The problem with them is that they come at 1 per card, and they've got basically Malka fire rate, but Akatsia stats. You see what I mean? Like, that's not that different. The advantage of them is that they've got 35k range, and because dispersion scales with range, you can get quite a tight dispersion circle. So Koča's trying to break out here, and with red putting so much pressure on this side, as the UAZ amphib, it is not. Yeah, Koča's trying to push this side and push him back. Really good play from Koča Popović. So we're seeing the Lars here. Double Lars. Could put a CV next to it, but it ain't cheap. And that Gvozdika does finally get that Milan there, which wasn't moving. That was like 2 salvos, basically. The BMP-1s breach the amphib. Wow, a crazy use of amphib here. You don't usually see that. The Milan 2 will have something to say about the BMP-3s. But yeah, without AA, this FI tow is going to really clean these guys up. And they can't even smoke, because they don't have smoke. So, Lars coming in on the artillery. It's interesting. I mean, obviously, you'll probably get that Razvedka and mess up that artillery. But it would have been perhaps better to go for this concentration of forces here. He can still interrupt it. Chooses not to. But he did get the Gvozdika. I think Mix was helping out there. Yeah, they both went for the same target to make sure it died, so that makes a lot of sense. Of course, Koča Popović doing most of the work there. Mix basically just being a liability. Very expensive FI tow goes down there to Tunguska. Nice bombing wave from Dristl kakals. But the really good play from Koča Popović means that he manages to reverse out the way there and survive. So really, really good play from Koča Popović there, surviving that bombing wave. Tunguska goes down, and yeah, no AA from Mix 90 to shoot down those MiGs, right? So that's not fantastic. So they're going to try and get the CV in now. I really wish they would invest in some smoke, man. I mean, that's the best way to get it in. They could have done that a long time ago. Mix's Rover's dead as well. Mix being a proper liability there. So you could have taken this path, like this path, and then you limit your exposure, but he's in Tangan range. He's in Tangan range. But the tanks are shooting the BMP-3s. Gazelle rockets out, and yeah, they've not brought any AA. They've got Iglas now, but yeah, it's going to be tough. Really cool amphibious attack, though. It's interesting to see maneuver warfare on a map this narrow. There's still room for maneuver. Like, we could see blue push a bit here. Right, this big tank blob could really just roll straight in here, actually. But you don't know what's there, right? So you got to send the infantry first. There is infantry. Could be sent. But it seems that blue really want to fight for this. And yeah, just Mix just completely losing his side of the map. Has really messed his teammate up. And, you know, Mix like, used to be ranked 1. And now he's losing all his stuff to air mobile. He's losing all his air mobile to grads. So this is what we spoke about, with the grads being very, very powerful. Like, they're a better Lars too, essentially. They're more expensive, right? And with the fob and everything, you can really, with the map being as narrow as it is, it's very difficult for people to dodge that. Fish in a barrel, basically. So, you know, Koča, he's doing his best to try and make up for his teammates' shortcomings, but, you know, Mix, he's just not doing a good job there. So here comes Dristl again, Rollins miss. Both miss. It's kind of sad. But there we go, the Gepard. The Gepard gets it. So really good AA purchases there from Koča Popović. He's doing really well. Mick's not resupplying his artillery. It's kind of sad to see. And losing all his infantry. And just generally playing terribly. Nova's purchased. Oh, Artanis really likes artillery. So I wouldn't have bothered with the Novas. Or if you'd gone Nova, I wouldn't go Acacia. I'd go 2 cards a grad. Get 4 grads on this. Whoa. Especially if you got a fob. Although 2 is probably sufficient. Or, better yet, actually, you can upvet the grads. And then you put a command CV next to them. And then they reload in 30 seconds. As opposed to... Is it 30 seconds? No, it's not. It's not. It's less. Let's try and find a Vet 2 unit. We need to find a Vet 2 unit somewhere. Don't see any on the map. I am looking. And, you know, Mix, he's trying to get back in here, but he's just too bad at the game. And so, yeah, he's going to start losing Gazelle rockets. It is a good burst there. He only loses 1. And you would expect now his artillery to immediately start hitting those Iglas. But I guess he's using the Warrior Milans for that instead. Yeah, you get Aufklärer from Koča in a really good spot there. And there you go, really good AA play from Koča. And you see how he decided to bring his Leopard 2A4s at no vet, so that if he loses them to clusters, it's okay. And you see how he's baiting out all the 6Y8 clusters there? He's baiting them all out. Really, really important kills getting those cluster planes down, because it's really, it's got a really powerful payload. As we saw at the start, where Mix lost, you know, lost like half his starting points in 1 second. And then... like, that's the reason Red's winning, basically. Mix just letting the side down. Letting everybody down there. You hate to see it. He's losing more units here. The Warrior Milan, not amphibious. He could try and park it in this corner, away from that motor strelky. It is low cohesion, so it might miss. It does. Mix getting really lucky there. Still trying to find that Vet 2 unit. So that we can observe... That's 1 vet, that's 1 vet. So that Saxon's probably going to go down. Big 29 going for the Gazelles is not a good idea, actually, because Koka's there with the Rolands. Koka doing all the work once again. Saving Mix once more. And, yeah, really good play from Koča Popović here. So Motostrelky Metis, these they are amphib, of course they are. It's a Russian vehicle, so they're by right-clicking here, they will take a very slow route. Basically, they need to make amphib like literally twice as fast if they want people to use it. Like we saw a very cool amphibious attack there. That was a very cool amphibious attack, but you know, you're sort of fighting the game whenever you're trying to do something cool like that. Yeah, it looks like Red are running out of units here. So I think Blue does have the capacity to push back in. Like, Koka's done a really good job keeping his tanks alive. You know, unlike Mix. And so, so he's got lots of tanks. And that means that at some point he can just roll in here and kill everybody. So he's biding his time. Of course, there is a T-80 BV here. And you need recon with these before you push. He, of course, knows that. He'll be buying that soon. Yeah. What can I say? Game slows down a little bit here while Blue build up to try and get stuff out. The M107s, so I guess it really is that dispersion circle. So they're getting very well. They're also really close, so that makes a lot of sense as well. Where are the Lars going? Yep, really good bombardment here from Koča Popović. He knows where the CV is. He knows that, you know, this church usually has somebody in it because religious people can see further than atheists. So this atheistic dwelling can't see very far, but this church can see really far. Grads again. Surprised to see them... Yeah, they should be firing more, really, those grads. Put a CV next to it, you can fire more. Lots of BMP 1Ps here from the 6YA player. But I really disagree with the AGS version. I really do. So, Koka desperately trying to stop his friend from feeding. And He's losing units in the process. You know, will this survive? It does. Bopar's out there. Koka. And, you know, we see his leopards here. Doing a really good job here. But the grads, you know, it's difficult. It's difficult with the grads. So, Escortini trying to get down the right side here, which is pretty interesting. We'll see how that goes. And I really think that Red need to start investing in heavy tanks. Like, they've just got unsupported infantry here, whereas Blue went for a bunch of tanks. And, you know, specifically Koka's tanks are doing really well. Starting to clear all this out. I do like this Escortini play. That's a really good play. And, yeah, I guess that's going back to the FOB. So it will always have rockets, as will this one. And so I think on a map this narrow, I think a FOB's a really good idea. Especially if you want a grad spam, which they do, clearly. So, Red CV is not quite in the zone there. Waiting for these Lars to show up as well. Like, they could hit all this. This thing is doing a lot of damage, I guess. But actually not that much. Like, this UPK thing, it's got really bad range, and it's just not very good. But yeah, now it's even Stevens. So it's who can artillery the other guy's CV first. And it looks like it looks like Red win that fight. Whereas, you know, these... Okay, they're going for the T80BV. I mean, what? Shouldn't he be going for the CV? Shouldn't he be going for the CV and not some random tank somewhere? What can he do? Oh, he's probably going to get that, though. Very difficult to react in time when the howitzers are that close. Like, that is not far away at all. So that's fair enough, really. And so Dristl, quite intelligently, is now getting this back there. What he really wants is an amphibious CV, so he can hide it in the lake. I do apologise, I've not been sleeping properly recently. I've been staying up way past my bedtime. So, yeah, still +2 for Red. Red's still winning. And honestly, I expected a lot more from a former world #1. It just goes to show you that ladder rank just doesn't mean anything. But Koča Popović, he's doing a really good job. But he just can't save his friend, you know? It's hard. Trying to swim with an anchor wrapped around your foot. It's difficult, you know? What can you do? He's doing his best with these Leopard 2A4s. And he's you know, he is taking out infantry here. This Akatsuki has been firing a lot, which is cool. Have the grads been firing? Yeah, they did. They fired before. I really do recommend having a CV next to these. And, yeah, I'm surprised the 6YA player hasn't got his giant S, which is like a better Akatsuki, basically. When you're playing in team, you can make these kind of decisions. You can say, look, don't bring the Akatsuki, I've got the better one. Sorry, staying up way past my bedtime. Way past my bedtime. So, Escortini out there. Okay, Napalm playing. But yeah, Koka, you know, he's been saving the whole game with his AA, right? And these Rolands are probably going to open up again. And they one-shot that. So, you know, Koka saving Mix 90 once again. And another amphibious attack here. I really wish Red would invest in some smoke knowledge, right? Knowledge of smoke. And then they could just smoke here, and then they could just use the road to get in, right? As opposed to having to do this every time. So the grads are out again. Very, very debilitating to fight into this. Mix reversing into a grad there. I think he's changed his mind. Whereas, you know, Koka, very, very brave gentleman. Valiantly holding the line at his own expense. It's a thankless task, you know. And he survives. So it goes to show, you know, it's powerful. I do like this play from Dristl, keeping the CV all the way back there. He's going back in the water. And yeah, here we go. So they finally swapped into artillery, you know. They finally swapped into heavy tanks. So Koka, you know, he's doing his cool armored blob. He does need some recon with that, like a racist. Fox racist is really good. And the CV, crucially, the CV gets killed by Koka's Lars. So that's a really good Lars play there. And the really good Roland play there. Honestly, that would have killed that entire tank blob. So, real kudos to the 5th Panzer player. Doing a lot of work there. Artanis doing a good job keeping his tanks alive. Yeah, like, it's not looking good for Red now, actually, I gotta tell you, because there's just too much of an investment in infantry. You need more heavy tanks. The 6Y player should really be buying T-64 BVs and stuff. Grads are only going to get you so far. That was an interesting 1v1 there against the land trap rapier. I guess it got gradded, so its cohesion was low. But yeah, +2 for... And here we go. Koka saving the day once again. Takes out that helicopter. He does, unfortunately, lose his life in the process. Yeah, the motorstrelky, they're in here, but without tanks, it's very difficult. It's very difficult. Obviously, you can rely on the artillery, which is going to be down for a bit, I guess. More Acacias, more CVs. Still no smoke. Like, the Novas are basically pseudo-mortars, you know? You can use them for smoke. You can smoke away. But this is just an absolute bloodbath. I really wish the game had, like, heat maps where it shows you, like, where people die. It would be very red here. I really wish it had anything more than the absolute bare minimum. Do you know what I mean? Like, imagine, like, a graph that shows you KD over time. Or, you know, deaths over time. So you'll see when the deaths spike from big attacks and stuff like that. And you can say, look, well, you could have, like, losses... point losses over time, and you could say, look, this is where the game really swung. Or look, this guy took a massive point deficit here, but he still managed to cling on because he held the zone. So there's lots of things that you can do with that. But I dare to dream, I guess. So these guys really need to invest in some smoke. Just smoke here, and then you could get your CV in, no problem. No problem. Use the Nova SVK, smoke here, drive down the road. But instead they're just doing step 3, which is drive down the road. And Koka has quite intelligently bought Jaguar 2s here, which cover the whole road. So this infantry keeps being sent in waves, but because it's not supported by tanks, because the tanks can't get in there because Koka's blocking them off, yeah, it's really tough for Red. So, not much happening over here. It is interesting, actually, that with the map being so narrow, you would assume that people would try and use as much of it as possible, but they're really not doing that. So, Challengers getting hit there. Whoa, that's a really good grad volleys there. Mix blobbing his units way too much blobbing going on by Mix there. And so he's losing all his stuff. It looks like the Challengers are going to survive. Barely. So that's a shame. I mean, good play there. And then Koka, right, so he's bottom Mars now, and he's actually going for the grad, but the grad is going to move. But yeah, +2 to blue. +2 to blue. Blue is on a +2. What to say? What to say? Red are just getting hammered by these Lars. Good Lars play from Koka. Really carrying this game on his shoulders. Atlas shrugged, do you know what I mean? Here comes the Mars, but the grad has moved. And looks like these guys weren't spending their income for a few minutes. Because we see a lot of units popping out suddenly here. And yeah, so what's next for Red? I mean, they've got to learn about smoke. They've got to learn about smoke. But will they learn? Like, they've not got time to waste here. All they got to do is smoke here, and you're in. Or even just smoke here, and then you're in. Then, of course, Koka's going to turn the Lars on it, but you've got time to cap the zone, and you'll notice that there's no CV here, because the Lars killed it. The grads killed it. So, it's a shame, the lack of smoke. The severe lack of... the smoke shortage. You know, everybody's so healthy these days. You hate to see it. So, looks like Blue are pushing for these other zones a little bit. Gotta tell you, the explosions look cool when they hit the water. It's quite rare to see, right? But we saw it during that amphibious attack there. It looks really good. So they put all that effort into making all these cool animations and stuff, cool FX, and you never see it because because amphibious is so slow Like, it's just not worth it. So, Mix-90 driving into the napalm and artillery there. You hate to see it. And some supply going down there. It's rough, man. I mean, red, basically they're just building up and then they're just going to Q move in there. And it could just be done so much more elegantly. So much more elegantly. You just smoke, bro. So Mix going for, you know, this position, basically. And you can see the dispersion circles. You see how tight that one is? I guess that one is corrected shot. Actually, it should all be corrected shot. Hang on, what? Why would it be correct? Oh, because the circles are overlapping, so we actually don't know. The circles for both teams are overlapping. So, yeah, that guy is fine. So here we go again. No smoke. You hate to see it. I hope you've learned something from this game, dear viewer. Number one thing to learn, Koča Popović is carrying this game. Number two thing to learn, remember to smoke. I guess that's number three. Number two thing is Mix is throwing this game. I was hoping that was a smoke shell going there. No such luck. No such luck. But yeah, that is a decent RT. It's going to get the sniper as well, probably. You never want your sniper next to a more visible unit. But yeah, you see the power of artillery there. Explodes right next to him. Shrapnel all around. No damage. Grad's out. Big attack coming in for red now. Will they commit the tanks? They really need the tanks over here. This is not ideal. Interesting from Mix, though, not having any AA up to here. Like, he could put this javelin up to here. Just content to let his guys die, I guess. Here we go. Javelin moving up. And yeah, Koča is about to go for this zone here. He wants more. He's trying to make the game as exciting as possible for us. It's a really good play from Koča Popović. And, yeah. Man, imagine how terrifying it would be to be in one of these. And like, this is wave number 5. Oh, yikes. You can see the planes flying overhead there. Artillery coming in. Get up that beach! 5 man is a juicy opportunity. 1 man is a waste of ammo. I'll see you on the beach. You know, it's literally Saving Private Ryan. Literally Saving Private Ryan right now. Pew 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 pew. So yeah, it's very cinematic. Look at how many craters there are. But alas, the tanks have not been committed, and so they're all dying. And these are also not in range. So 81mm mortars. A little birdie told me they were good now. A little birdie is wrong. Oh my goodness, smoke! Do you believe it, guys? Can you believe it? TAM coming out. What a gigachad vehicle. Because it is so bad that whenever anybody uses it, you got to call him a gigachad for having the balls to use it. As you can see, it just immediately died. It's bad for a lot of reasons. I don't have time to get into it. I'm more focused on, will this CV enter that smoke? So, looks like Blue's reign of terror is going to temporarily come to an end, but you know, Koča, he's on the money. He's got the Lars and the Mars. TABV's going down there to Koča Popović, doing everything by himself. But yeah, there we go. Finally some smoke. Finally some smoke. So that was all it took. People to learn about smoke. The grads could be... this one's reloading, but... No, they're reloaded. They could be firing now. And Koča's like, fine, I'll do it myself, mate. He's just going to throw all game. Not going to buy units, just going to buy 6 81mm mortars and accomplish nothing. Fine, I'll win. I'll win all by myself. Apparently... Alright, there were 2 CVs in this. So, here we go. Koča just capping the zone. And because this is low cohesion, it's aiming slower, it's turning its turret slower, and it's dying faster. So the Koka just recapping the zone there, and you'll recognise that because he got rid of those MiG-21 clusters at the start with the Rolands. There's no big MiG-21 cluster attack here, and he's like, my work here is done. I'll retreat now to make it look like you're the one doing anything, even though I did all the work. Really magnanimous of him. Really good play from Koča Popović. Meanwhile, you know, Mick's basically just trolling. I mean, he's just buying all this rubbish. Lots of 81mm mortars. Would love to see a bit of counter battery come out here. I think they'd take that out quite quickly. Oh, okay, there it is. Well, it's right on the edge. It was still enough to get 2 of them. So there you go. Oh, to get all of them with a half volley there. So yeah, these like he wasn't even moving them. It's a big waste. What a waste of human endeavour. Buying out all those. Lots of arty now out for red. But yeah, Koča Popović, man, he secured the zone. And what can you do when you've got this guy against you? He's making it look easy. So intelligently, Koča moves his units forwards and backwards so that he doesn't just get gradded all the time, like Mix does here. You see, Mix's motorized air mobile get gradded there. And yeah, it's looking pretty good now for blue. I mean, 7 minutes left. Can red hold the tide? Can red reverse their fortunes? I mean, they obviously can't, right? Because everybody's dead. That was their big push, and now they have no units. So, unless they make something happen here, but they're not going to do it because they're going up against Koča Popović, and he actually knows how to defend his zone. Nova goes down there. These things have like a really chunky AP. They got 20 AP on that. Koča valiantly sacrificing himself to take that out. Good play from Koča Popović there. They got 20 AP, but it's only 30% accuracy, which is really upsettingly bad, basically. It's like sort of uselessly bad, so it's rough. And yeah, I mean a proper 1v3 match, really. That's all there is to say. A proper 1v3 match. Koča Popović just popping off. Koča popping off a Vic. Or is it Vich? Might be Vich, actually. I don't know how to pronounce any of these words. We can look it up, actually. Let's look it up. Let's type that into the old Google Translate. Although, how would I even do that? Given that I cannot type. I cannot actually type that letter. But hey, we're missing a Koča Popović artillery attack here. See, he knows how to clear an area. That guy's been pushed right out of that church. So, good Mars usage there. What I will say is that this is cluster, so it's not actually that good against infantry, but he's doing it for the morale effect. He's just dabbing on them. He's so far ahead at this point that he can afford style points. He can afford style points. And Mick's brazenly trying to throw even more by sending his CV forwards first, ahead of his other guys there, doing his absolute best to throw here, but Koka's like, no, we will not throw. Koča Popović. Translate from Turkish? Surely not. Surely not. I thought it would be Serbian.
Koča Popović.
There you go, that's how you say it. I'm saying it right now.
Koča Popović.
See? I'm fluent in Serbian.
Koča Popović.
Oh, I said it again there. I chose to say it again there. So, yeah, +2 for blue. Game's starting to slow down a bit. I'll be honest, I think it's very, very over for red. I just don't see what they do here. They've lost so much, and I think maybe a bit of an overinvestment in artillery. If you have 2 grads, yeah, you should be able to finish the fob. I think, yeah, perhaps an overinvest. Each one of these is a T-64 BV. Obviously, they're slightly less. 30 points less. But you got to think of this as 4 T-64 BVs. And imagine if he had 4 T-64 BVs or 4 T-80Bs in that fight. Probably would have got a lot better for him. Engine destroyed here. You hate to see it. But now, yeah, I just can't see red. Can't see red doing anything. It's just, oh, here we go. Koka, he's popping off of Vic. He's going straight in. He wants more. I was going to say it's getting a bit boring, but he's like, no, we must entertain the fans. Even though, how could he ever know that this game would be cast? When his friend submitted it and said, make sure you flame Koča Popović. Actually, let me say it again properly.
Koča Popović.
There you go. So, yeah, all these units he's been building up for this last epic strike. Mick's already feeding as much as possible with his Saxons. These things are kind of bad, so he brought them literally just to dab on the haters. They are really bad. Just bringing it for style points. All the enemies, all enemy artillery is focusing Koča Popović, and you know, he just bashes on regardless, right? He's got the tanks coming in. He's kept his tanks safe. He's not even bringing his Rolands up because he's like, I don't even need them, mate. I know he's been counting how many planes he's killed over the course of this game. He knows there's no enemy strike craft left, so he doesn't have to worry about it. He's not even using the lots because he just wants to make it as fair as possible. Like, look at all these units he has. He's been taking such good trades. See, look at all this hate he's getting. Look at all this hate he's getting. Phantom F3 coming out here. I think that's the first plane we've seen from Mix all game. Oh, it's dead. And then even then, Koča Popović just brought fighters, right? There was no bombers. I guess because they assumed there would be a bunch of bucks back here from the 6YA play, but there's actually not, which is surprising. And he's going YOLO. He's going straight in. YOLO. YOLO. Straight YOLO. Okay, partial YOLO. He is actually unloading in front of the zone there. So it's really cool. I wish these transports were a lot cheaper, and I wish that the armor actually worked so that if you die inside these vehicles, it had normal overkill mechanics. So if it's just enough to kill the vehicle, the crew inside survives, and if it's way more than it kills the vehicle, they all die, and there's a scaling factor there, like in Red Dragon. But alas, in Warno, they made it like 23... Well, basically, unless you've got like 25 strength or something, you basically die whenever the vehicle blows up. So all the code for the overkill mechanics is in the game, right? They've just switched it off. Because if you recall, helicopters used to survive as well. Right, so here we go. Koča Popović is popping off. He's doing everything by himself. You'll note that this was his zone as well. He's just doing all the work there. All the work. And yeah, Red just getting hammered. There's no way that, even though there's 3 players on the Red team, because Mix is obviously a FSB agent. Actually, it wasn't FSB in the Soviet Union. What were they called? KGB. KGB agent. But Koča Popović, he's just doing everything himself. Will he go for? It looks like he's going for more. He's not content to stop there. He's got 1 minute. Actually, he's got 56 seconds. I was looking at the wrong timer. He's going for even more than previously thought possible. He's just taken the whole map by himself, basically. Really impressive. Really impressive play. I gotta tell you, man. I'm very impressed. The RPG-27 is a really good RPG, so he can't run into this. He has to kill it all first, which is difficult to do. I've noticed he's not brought any IFVs, which is very powerful. Absolutely dabbing on the haters, just bringing subpar equipment just to try and even the odds, because he knows he's so good that that he just intentionally hampers himself. As you can see, he didn't bring his AA up, right? He's like, look, I'll give you a fighting chance. And look, the fighting chance, they're trying to get back in. He's giving them every opportunity. He's playing with one hand behind his back. He only has one hand. And there you go. Easy peasy victory for Koča Popović. Really good gameplay. Really good gameplay. And you see, he got way more kills. He got the least losses in the game. And for some reason, it says Mick's got all the conquest points. We know that's not true. We saw the game. So, you know, Mick's got some kills, I guess, maybe. But what I really want to see is Koča Popovic's kills. And sadly, they're not here. So, you know, it's a conspiracy. But yeah, this guy, for a man with 359 games, and he's carrying Mix 90. Sadly, when you click on Mix, it just comes up with me. Artanis here, 24 ranked games, 400 total. And this guy, 341. Dristl there. So if I just want to show you Mix's stats. So look, makes his rank 1. And he's just trash. I mean, I don't know what to say. He just played so badly in that game. You hate to see it. You hate to see it. Do please let me know what you think. And I'll see you around.